Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday. It's August 6th, 2024. It's a step 14 day. It's about thinking and Gemini energy. I have a lot to unwind today, so I'm very excited to be here and talk about how I'm feeling, energy of the day. So, Vancouver, yesterday it was so hot. It was beautiful. And this is the weather today. It's a little chilly, but I think it's gonna warm up. I would love to go into the water today if I can. Welcome everybody to Embody Your True Essence. This is my speaking meditation time where I speak my truth. And as I'm doing that, I am transmuting my energy real time, and I'm very excited to unwind some of the stuff. So let's get to it. Let me know in the comments where you guys are tuning from and how you guys feeling. I'm very happy that you guys are here to join and co-create, because I think that's all that matters in the end, right? And whether you're checking the recording, thank you guys for being here. And I switched the time, so now it used to be 8 a.m. PST, but now it's started 9 a.m. PST. I just want to see how it goes with this time. I think it's better for me considering all my schedules. I'm not pushing myself to like, okay, wake up and then do this stuff. But yeah, so today is about, according to Series Joy, I talk a lot about astrology, because the more I know about astrology, the more precise and the more clear about my direction in life, and I got to see the glimpse of my past life and why I came here. Why am I here to redeem some of the stuff from my past life? So the more you know, like I noticed, the more peace I found within myself, and so life is all about knowing yourself, where you belong, and loving yourself, accepting yourself, and hi Mary, accepting yourself. And it's all about just dive deeper into ourselves, right? And then once you work through some of the past mistakes and some of the trauma, the trigger, the pattern that created in ourselves, it's time for us to unwind. But in order for us to do so, you need to first calm our nervous system down. And that's kind of like the gateway. I'm a fascia maneuvers coach, but I'm also a mover. I teach people how to move. I'm a dancer. And that's the gateway, as we tap into whatever that is. It could be a martial art, but anything in life, we started to do that. So you explore the art of life, art of dance, art of cooking, art of driving, whatever that is, right? So that's the gateway. And then tapping through that, release your emotions, calm down your nervous system, remove your stress, and reduce your inflammation. And that's a gateway. And going through that, and it started to flow. Swim life like water and like fish. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So I do this show because I noticed, okay, now what for me? I've been calming down my nervous system and reducing my stress. And now, what do I need to work on? And all the patterns started to come in. And I've been shown some of the toxic patterns that I have. Hi, Lee. Good day, good morning. And yeah, so it's all about unwinding. And I am here to be, authentic as possible, and working through some of the stuff that I'm going through. So, Series Joy, today is step 14. 1 represent love, the Leo energy. We're still in the Leo energy. And 4 means Aquarius type of energy. If you love and belonging and innovation. So if you love and you innovate, if you love something. And then from there, good morning, come to being. Yes, thank you so much for all your sweet feedback about the facelift class. I really appreciate you. So I love, I belong, and that needs to I think. So we have this, today's energy is about loving, belonging, and you think. So it's all about that relationship in love and thinking. I would love to explore that. So I'm going to read. And so, first of all, Mercury retrograde rules the day. Oh, that's the strongest breakdown of a technology, communication, or old systems of thinking. Any idea falling away is to replace with one even better. Call on your heart and love energy to find that pathway. Your mind is creativity, so aim for what you really want out of life. Don't allow yourself to think about how will happen. That's God's job. Yeah, so we set the intention and let the God works for it, or universe, the higher being, whatever you use, the term you use. But we always subconsciously know that we are all connected. There's a higher power in us that, allow us to express ourselves, and that this higher power is expressing itself through us, right? And don't allow yourself to think about how will it will happen. How? Yeah, that's where we tend to get stuck, right? Like how and when, and then we'll set the specific time. But I am learning that on this fascial maneuvers journey, things do not happen at my timing anymore. And then if my timing is the universe timing, it will happen together. It's like a yay, yay. But if my timing is not matched with my divine timing, and things do not happen at the time that I want, and it's okay, but doesn't mean that the answer is no. I love the answer when I get if something doesn't happen the way I want, and I like to think that the answer is not yet rather than no, right? Not yet. So I think it's like you probably notice like you connecting the dots from here to there. There's a lot of moving parts probably in your life right now, right? It's not so much about pushing through this and go 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 go, but it's like okay, he did a little bit of this, and okay, I think it's like it's enough for now. Let's work on this one, and it's like okay, let's work on this one. Or it's like oh okay, this doesn't work, it's not ready for it to come to fruition, so let's take the same different direction. So this is how for me it's like learning to flow like water, and having that strong platform. I talk about the word solid foundation for ourselves. Know that we are essentially radically unconditionally loved and blessed, and this is just something I'm working on, because it's like my mind is like no, you don't think that way. But something that I'm embodying, at the core I am loved and protected. Wow, that got me emotional because my mind is fighting. Okay, so definitely at the end, it's about working through that part of yourself that don't believe that, right? We're unconditionally loved and accepted. And there's a point that your mind says something and the brain something says something else. And but knowing that this is the boss and this is that CEO. So I say this is that director, and director, this is the director, and as a heart is an executor. Execute the plan. So and they go heart brain rather than brain heart. So I catch myself with a pattern, and it's like no, that's not how I live. mm, mm. Trying this after having virus for 5 weeks, hard. So here's the thing. Yeah, thank you, Carla. Yes, bravery, courage, right? Be kind and courageous for ourselves. Um, virus, at Human Garage, I learned that every virus, every bacteria on the planet already exists in our DNA. We look separate from the nature and the things that we have, but there's no separation. It's everything is frequency, everything is energy. We all know that, but it's so hard to embody that part of ourselves. But again, every virus and every bacteria on the planet already exists in us, in our DNA. It's about trigger. If something is out of alignment in us, that's when virus started to act up, right? when you're in alignment, in a flow state, those things are also in harmony within us, so it doesn't harm us. Why do we think that maybe sometimes virus harms us? Maybe something in us, we have toxins in our body that needs to let out. So we are actually using those opportunities, using outside opportunity. Maybe somebody says some negative stuff about me, and that's the opportunity for us to go dive within. Or when we are out of alignment with our thoughts, or as we raise our frequency, we need to let something out of our body, our system, so that we can even raise our frequency high. So not necessarily the result of what's exactly happening at this real time, but because of all the shadow work, raise our frequency, and all the viruses that only live at a certain lower frequency needs to go out. It's like bye-bye. So when that happens, and then virus is helping us release those toxins. And it happens. It happened to me on this journey quite a bit. But every time I go through that, and it's so funny. Maybe you have experience. I even there are many times in the past that when I'm detoxing and I'm literally feeling like crap, right? And it's like, wow, I look like shit, and I don't feel good in my body. And then I have like a social function or something, and I go out, and then you don't want to meet people, but you have to meet people. And then they were like looking at me. It's like, wow, you're glowing. Have you ever had that experience? I've had quite a bit of experience like that. So I've been hydrating myself and doing fascia maneuvers. It's at the end of it, it's make this water fluffy again, flowy again inside of our body. Fascia is water. And fascia is our subconscious, our patterns. And only way for us to work on that toxic patterns, negativity and adhesions, bring back more flow into our body. And as we go through that journey, and we go through detox, and virus is helping, whatever that outside being thinks is actually helping. It's all about inspiration, all about clues, whether that we perceive as negative or whether that we perceive as positive. So now, using that as an opportunity to release what no longer serves us. Going through that transition is very uncomfortable, but when you pass and ride the waves, and then when the storm have passed, you know that it's like, wow, I feel lighter. And people do notice you. So yeah, it's like hopefully people can find your glow. I've been detoxing class, had cupping for neck. Yes, get told I look great. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for what you're saying. Yeah, right? So it's not that we welcome detoxing, right? Here comes, I think it's, I'm not Christian, but growing up, my mom had a Japanese religion. It's more like a Christian science. We believe in the power of mind and all that kind of stuff. And I learned that Christianity, when you read the Bible, and then I don't even remember who that was, but like a scar. Jesus had a scar, and then when you go through this journey, it's like, you started to welcome those negative events like detoxins, like, it's like you feel like you are better than the other because of what you're getting. Maybe you're getting big sickness, or I don't know. In subconscious, there's some of us that that in our subconscious mind that we have this habit of welcoming and being in this miserable pity party of attracting the sickness, if you understand what I mean. And consciously, you don't feel like that. No one wants to get sick, but subconsciously, maybe we think differently otherwise, right? And if you have that kind of fear or attraction, whether you are aware or not, we keep attracting those things to remind yourself, what we are holding on to. So once it comes out and once it gets triggered, this is our chance to flip the narrative, flip our pattern, so that I have this pattern to attract this. So, talk about the buffer time. When the trigger comes, when the inspiration comes, how do we react? There's a time lag, right? This is your response. So there's a negotiation happening between, okay, do I react it? Do I perceive this as negative, or do I perceive this as positive? There's a power in that. But I am, first of all, I am allowing myself to make mistakes, because it's like, okay, I'm going to get this right this time. There's a lot of pressure in us, right? But for me, because of being the person that I was, I've been told, but also I feel that I did carry a lot of fear inside subconsciously from past life, all many reasons. But I know that I attracted this because I have all this. It's not to use that as a judgment, but I am telling myself where I am is safe. I am safe to make decisions. I make decisions. I make wise decisions with my heart. So that's the core. We may make mistakes along the way, but I know that I always going to make loving, kind decisions for myself. And I make wise decisions, because sometimes we make decisions because we love so much, but we could be loving something very toxic. So just to correct that, I think word power is so important. So I tell myself, I make wise decisions with my heart. And allowing myself to make mistakes. If that happens, that's okay. I just be more kind and compassionate. I have so much unwind, things are coming up, but I have so much unwind, and but I am enjoying this journey, because the more I unwind, the better I become at releasing things, and just being grateful for even the bad feelings help to you let them go. Yeah. And then you sometimes writing down my feelings help me uncover what's going on. Yeah, 100% I do write down a lot of things, even the good ones and bad ones. And but I also have, like, this is just me, but I have different journal. I used to write down more, but I like typing it out. So it could be that Word file. It could be, I have iPhone, so I use this note app. And I have a journal just dedicated for inspiration, and I have a journal dedicated for, I call it Fascia journal, and I just write down anything I want, because I feel like whatever we write, it has power, and I want to set the clear intention that whatever I allow myself to write whatever I feel, but when I feel that this is good for me, this is the inspiration, this is how I want, what I want to embody, I want to remind myself. So I wrote it down in a inspirational journal, and whatever I think that I need to let out, just even the bad feelings. This is how I feel. This is what this person did to me. Blah blah blah. Right? When I write it down, I do it in a safe place where I get to express myself without judgment, or without holding myself back for holding that kind of information. Because bad feelings are equally super important, because it tells us so much about us. And then this kind of like the feeling that we have towards other people, it could be especially the one that negative. When we judge yourself to think that way, that's when we numb our inspirational, like, we are always perceiving thoughts. I feel like every time we judge our bad feeling, that's when we block our inspiration that are coming in. So I'm just like, now I notice, I didn't know that I noticed those things, right? I catch people's pattern. It's okay, that's where they live. I don't need to change that. And I noticed that because I noticed I don't need to dim my superpower. If I notice, I notice, right? So I use these things, these power, to use it as an advantage. Yeah, thank you. I have heart atrial fibrillation. I usually do daily fitness, etc. I want to be well by my birthday on 18. Loving all these ideas. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, 18. So you must be Leo, and you're going through symptoms with heart related. I think it's really helps to tap into, you know, love is beautiful, but just like anything, there's always pros and cons, good side and bad side, right? It's just a duality to live on this earth. If you use that superpower or super skill as an advantage, you can really harness your superpower and be successful. But use it to harm yourself. That that's when I call inflammation. Inflame is bodies on fire. We have fire, we have four elements, etc. We are air, we are water, we are fire, we are earth. And when we are fire, how do you use this fire? Do you use this fire for ourselves? Or do we dim and do we stop and judge our superpower and ended up judging ourselves, and that also caused inflammation in our body? So it's a lot to do with self-reflection and being kind to yourself. You know, you have so much love to give, and you have so much love to unwind. And maybe in the past you were you were put down, you know, because of this big brave heart. That's the Leo energy, right? So be kind to yourself. I think I'm learning that. Make mistakes, be kind to myself. I am allowing myself to make mistakes. It's okay. It's okay that I'm not perfect, but I'm always show up with good intention. I know that about myself. 100%. Always show up with a good intention. Yeah. We're all learning that, right? Okay, let me read another one. So I am like today's theme. I really want to um, deep into the discussion about mind and love. So elevating. Today is about things. So it's a Gemini type of energy. That's this willing state of awareness. The mind is the one state of awareness that can easily overlook, ignore, or turn against the wishes of the heart. As you wake up today, your heart may feel lonely, cold, or detached. I think that that's the energy of from yesterday too. Yeah. Um, Anything that needed to crumble probably crumbled yesterday. That's what happened. It happened to me too. And then I kind of just like, my reaction was, okay, it's happening again. It's a pattern. But I allow myself to be kind and not to play victims and just let the emotions go. It's okay to feel this way, right? Because it, like, whatever happens, there's so much moving parts. It's like I am projecting my stuff onto this person, or this person is also have their pattern that needs to be unwind. So it's kind of like we decide to meet together, and it's just kind of like rub each other's in a bad way. We're just rubbing, right? But somehow we rub each other in the wrong way so that we get triggered. This person triggered, and this person triggered too, and we are working through it together, right? But what is our heart telling us through this? That will be the consequence of all your attention being in the mind. So if you feel lonely, cold, detached, that will be the consequence of all your attention being in the mind. As you begin the day, set out to remain directly mindful of your heart. It's easy to go off into mental absorption, leaving your heart behind. The task of your mind today is to understand the way your heart needs to be loved and cherished day to day. More than specific details, the aim is to find an entirely new perspective, philosophy, or approach to the quality of life, love in your daily life. For instance, maybe your old approach to love in your daily life was to simply live a life without harm. There's nothing wrong with the harmless life, but it's not exactly joyful either. So today, your mind may come to realize that your heart belongs with more fun, excitement, and entertainment than you have given yourself in the past. I want to come back to that because there's so much unwind for me. Today is also an examination of how your mind thinks about your heart day to day, or whether your mind thinks of your heart at all. You may discover that your mind neglects to include the needs of your heart when you think or make plans. Your issue may not be the intention to love yourself. Instead, it may be that your mind neglects to include the needs of your heart in life altogether. Throughout the energy of today, you will notice where your mind skips over your heart. Your heart will be sensitive and will feel left behind or neglected if so. You may also catch your mind undercutting your heart, putting logic before the love of your heart. Navigate in your mind to the approach that mind should be taking with your heart in a given moment. Remember, the heart is the judge of success, not the mind. Heart is the judge of success, not the mind. You will come to understand the higher level of operate your social life, public duties, or friendships. Your mind will discover the idea, but your heart must fully endorse the change. Heart is number one. Right. You would experience a breakthrough in your long-term behavior changes or plan of action. The realization will elevate your character's potential. Today's goal is to find a greater intellectual perspective of love in your daily life. Elevate your thoughts of love. The easiest way to elevate the love in your life today is through the power of word choice. Change your wording in your thoughts and spoken word to reflect a higher state of love all around. Simply choosing new words will begin the radical process of innovating your perspective. So today's about 14. That means I love, I innovate, and as a result, I think. I am mindful of my heart always. That's a beautiful messages. Oh, so okay, this really hit me. So I'm gonna read this. Um, for instance, maybe your old approach. So my old approach to love in your daily life was to simply live a life without harm. Live a life with harm. I think it's like when your nervous system is so much, like high into adrenaline, basically so tired. And I think what happened to us is like, do you ever say that? I just want to live my life with peace. I just want to live my life with peace. And that's kind of like living a life without harm, right? And there's nothing wrong with the harmless life, of course not, right? Sometimes we need to wrap ourselves like a sushi roll or wrap ourselves like a burrito and tamales, and then it's just like feeling safe. We need to feel safe in ourselves, right? I think we all have that, telling ourselves when we are like going, our mind is going too far and not to be kind to our heart, and just had to stop ourselves. It's like, no, I'm going to love and accept myself no matter what. And so especially I felt that kind of pattern, especially since the COVID time. And I think we all kind of just like still going through the consequences. But I'm also from there, we are unwinding our pattern. Why do we need to feel like that all the time? Feel the needs to feel like that, and live a life without harm. peaceful. We are avoiding, like, my tendency of avoiding crazy people because, like, I know my boundaries and I know how much I can take it, right? But we are all learning that, there's nothing wrong with a harmless life, but it's not exactly joyful either. So let's say, like, it's safe for me to stay home. I don't need to go through any crazy people. I don't need to go through that fluctuation of my emotions, like being triggered or being influenced, being inspired by other people. But that's not very joyful either. There's like a little calm inner happiness behind all these emotions, but it's not necessarily like, wow, I'm so happy staying home, So today your mind may come to realize that your heart belongs with more fun, excitement, and entertainment than you have given yourself in the past. That's something that I need to work on. I am learning to enjoy my energy. I am learning to enjoy spending time alone instead of feeling miserable, thinking that I have no friends. But also, when I have the opportunity to go outside and interact with people, then I know that that's also where I belong, right? My heart, I know that about my heart. My heart likes to have fun. My love likes to, my inner child loves to have fun and be loved and be loving and do fun stuff. That's all that is, right? Entertainment. And but when we are in fight or flight and we carry so much stress and trauma, we just need inner peace, right? And so we crave this life without harm, and that's good. That's good. That's good. But also, I am finding. I think here comes my breakthrough probably today. It's okay to have both, but I'm also give my heart what it needs, which is to have fun more, which is strive for excitement. And I have that part of myself. I need to feed that part of myself throughout the day too, right? So notice throughout the energy of today, you will notice where your mind skips over your heart. Hmm. So my mind maybe thinks that I need peace, peace, peace. My and my heart wants joy, joy, joy. Your heart may be sensitive and will feel left behind or neglected. I know when I feel this way, when my heart feel left behind. There's a part of me when my mind thinks like this and my mind is rushing in fear and try to make this decision or come into conclusion, and my mind is left behind. My heart is left behind. I know that feeling. It leaves me a little pain in my heart when that happens. Yeah. Hmm. You may also catch your mind undercutting your heart or putting logic before the love of your heart. Yeah. Logic versus heart. Like trusting the unknown is like trusting here, the heart. Trusting the logic and trusting what you see that's reality and based on the perspective that you have, and your current perspective is only based on your past experience. It's not just because it happens in the past does not mean that it happens again, because you know better and you know better, so you will do better hopefully. So it's about the balance, right? Acknowledge that you have all this experience that we went through, whether that's a harsh experience or that's a good one, or, but we are all learning to come back to our heart. Age of Aquarius we are going to is all about belongings. It's all about innovation. It's all about collaboration, innovation, law of attraction. We are constantly attracting who we are, where we are, and that's the truth, whether that's a good or bad. But also don't judge yourself when we attract something negative, we think. Because those experiences are helping us release and come into our so that we can bring back to, pay attention to awareness. What's that word? We have the awareness finally that what we are holding on to, our patterns, so that you can flip, you can change, we can shift, you can shift. I love the word paradigm shift lately, using that. We think we know everything, right? It's like, I'm following my heart, this is the truth. And when I feel something off, I know that it's off. Like I'm we all have that pattern. And it's so my heart is telling me you are harmful to my well-being. But here comes, ask my heart, if it's really bad for me, right? Because everything that comes at me is supposed to be the inspiration and helping me grow. My goal in life is to forever learning and expand, right? Is there something that I can learn from this experience? So with that foundation, with that fluid, solid foundation, and with that open heart, being more receptive, there's nothing to protect, but we have boundaries, but our boundaries are flexible, right? You know when to bend in a good, positive way. You know when to adjust. Because when we don't have good boundaries, that's when we have really rigid boundaries, right? I think we don't have to protect ourselves so much like that, because we are who we are, and we know well, we know better, so we make decisions naturally. When we know who we are, we know where we belong to a heart. But even this heart, there's constant shift and paradigm shift, telling ourselves that the this, like the little thing, like this you know visual explanation of paradigm shift. When we thought that something is so bad and this person is literally toxic, but they were just who they are, because of the past experience. But what's my relationship with this person? Let it be. Let this person be, right? What I can change is that response to this person or things. I don't feel good about this. I express my opinions and acknowledge my feelings. At the same time, they have something to work through. But the fact that I've been triggered by this reaction and then how they are, I have something to work through. Coming back to ourselves, that I belong to myself first. And I am discovering my rhythm. I am beating my own drum. And my drum is what makes me feel love, what makes me feel peaceful, and all of that beautiful place. But my drum is also flexible. I started to use the word finding my own rhythm and finding my own flow and beating my own drum. When you look at the child, they're not swayed by someone's opinions, they're not swayed by what someone's doing. So every time I get triggered, every time I get the inspiration, where do I stand? Where do I belong in this? Why do I belong in this? So it's kind of like there's a buffer time, right? So there's an inspiration, trigger, clues, and this is my reaction. In between, there's a negotiation. Do I react this way? Do I react that, right? There's so much power in self-awareness. So when we go through this, I like to dance with my emotions in between, right? Dance with my emotions. Okay, I'm feeling angry. I'm gonna dance with this emotion. I'm feeling super frustrated with this, but I'm learned to flow. Flow state, flow state. Move like water, literally move like water. And then waiting for the right choice at this moment, because I decided that I'm making wise choice with my heart. So let the emotions flow until it's just, there's a power of that buffer time. So in between, dance with my emotions, but also dancing with my emotion is like finding my rhythm through this. Okay, where do I belong in this? Or what's my rhythm telling me? What's my drum? Where's my drum? So we all have a drum. We are beating our own drum, right? So when we get triggered, we're still beating my heart. There's a heartbeat and there's a breath. There's emotions. I have my formula. I should post that again. Storytelling in life is about feeling the heartbeat. We have our drum that we beat. There's a breath. And then there is emotions, right? There's emotions, the energy emotions coming up to us. Filters through our fascia, and we're moving energy, right? And from there, we take actions on it, right? It's like, okay, this is the right action at this moment, or take action. And that create the consequences, cause and effect. And we might make mistakes, or we may have positive outcomes, or maybe not so positive outcomes at the moment in time. But know that regardless, I make decisions with my heart. So I know that I'm radically, unconditionally loved and accepted. So I know that I am going to be okay. Where I am, it's safe, whatever happens. So let's continue to create life, create emotions. Yeah. Can you show us some facelift maneuvers? Okay, so first of all, let's move our energy. Let's rub our hands, if you guys do. It's all about moving the energy at the end, believing and embodying and loving what you think. And know that it's possible, because at the end of it, it doesn't matter what you do, what action you take. If you don't believe in it, if you don't think it works, it does not work. Rather, also, if you think that this action or whatever you're about to do is bad for you, and it's bad for you, and that also true too. So it's a lot to do with believing that this is good. So now I feel tingly and pulsing. So let's go around our body. Have you seen this Chinese kid or Asian kid doing this? There's a book. I think he's studying for exam. There's a meme, and then he's like, flicking the page, and then like he's going through that, and that just like that is around our face. The aura cleansing. Okay, do you believe that this can possible? Brushing off the weight of the world, right? Well, now you do the same thing, but while you're touching. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna go here. Sorry, I smack the mic. Go side. Da, 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 da. Back of the neck. You go up, 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 up. And let's do the lower back. Up, 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 up. Yeah. Notice the change. I already noticed the change. Now, give yourself a little massage. Ah. It's a lot to do with push and pull, right? You can do so many things. But this is also this jaw tension, tighten the neck and the shoulders. And this also connected to the lower back. And this connected to our uterus, right? Have you seen this spiritual memes that this thyroid is connected to our uterus, and it's a similar shape. there's a lot of connection. It's at the end of it. We need to be aware of the organs and the emotions that come, that are being stored. Without acknowledging it, there's no way you can lift your face, erase your wrinkles. But also, it's about, nothing is perfect, right? So in my facelift class, thank you guys for joining. If you're joined my facelift class the other day, that was a very powerful class. It took a lot out of me. I needed to take a nap afterwards, but my intention was to really shift that emotions, store in our body. So it's a lot to do with using our healing hands and touch your skin and just move, move, move. Yeah, we are pure magic, pure fascia. Yeah. So I pick a card every day, and today's energy is step 14. So tap 14 times and to pick this card for us. It's a beautiful card from Brittany Mark Carmichael Shine and a Shine. And the card I pick is for You Are Pure Magic. You are pure magic. It's a beautiful card. I'm going to read. Just in case you've forgotten, you're pure magic, baby. You were born a dreamer, but most likely you've buried your magic along the way. You may have forgotten you have this incredible manifesting power to create life, new ideas, inventions, connections, beauty, joy, and most importantly, love. Everyone possesses magic, but only those willing to take charge of their lives, put in the work, will activate its potential. Someone said in a live that instead of they use the word trigger, they use the word activate. Because I will also use the word inspiration. Whatever comes out to us is our inspiration. And sometimes it's a positive inspiration, sometimes a negative inspiration. But whatever that is, it's activate, right? So activation. Stepping into your magic requires that you leave your old limited beliefs behind, examine your intentions, and discover who you really are. Stepping into your magic requires that you leave your old limited beliefs. So definitely it's connected to our today's energy. We are talking about old patterns, old approach to ourselves. What is your loving approach to yourself in this Leo season? What is your unloving approach to yourself, right? Also, what is the unloving approach to other people? I've really started noticing my unkind approach to myself and unkind approach to others. It's you put yourself first, but at the same time, you don't have to be mean to other people just because you don't disagree. You don't agree with some people. I'm telling that to myself. So magic is not something you do. Magic is something you are. Yes. Stop waiting for someone else to create a perfect world, the perfect product, perfect you name it. You were born to use your magic power and contribute your unique energy to the world. I think that's the key, but to get into that, it requires a lot of shadow work, lots of inner work, right? You were born to use your magic power and contribute your unique energy to the world. You are destined for a life of magic if you just believe in the possibility of your dreams. You are destined for a life of magic if you just believe in the possibilities of your dreams. So you were born to use your magic. What is your superpower, right? And I think we all came in with a superpower, and acknowledging that help us expand more. I like the word activate, me too. So until you really know who you are, you're gonna continue to attract who you are not. So it's kind of like you attracting whatever you are at this moment, and all the reflection is telling you, teaching us what we are not, what we don't like, so that we can make choices, right? No, that's not who I am anymore. Thank you for showing me that. Maybe it's just the last residual of what I've been releasing. This is gonna be the end. I'm gonna stop this old story right here, right now, and now make that decisions, and then start attracting. Flip the narrative. Thank you for this experience teaching me that I can be more kind and compassionate to myself. I am maybe attracted this person to show me that there's part of me that I don't love myself. What is my loving approach to myself, so I can really, really going back and reflect, right? And there's a lot of power in that. We are all learning to love ourselves more and love ourselves more and more. But what it's like to fully love and accept ourselves? Because in spite of all these adversaries, and all those things that tell me otherwise. So it's a lot to unwind, because my mind have patterns, and this is the right way. Ego want to win, but at the end of it, are we choosing love? Are we choosing war? Are we choosing to be righteous, to be right? Righteousness, or are we choosing to be kind and compassionate? I think it applies to a lot in this in the relationship, right? Am I being kind? Am I being kind and compassionate, knowing that no one's perfect? You want, especially with the organization or work, like you want this to be so perfect and on point. I try my best to do that, but at the end of it, am I being kind to myself? Am I kind to others? Thank you for this experience. I am struggling with letting my teen son be more separate. How to love him as he creates his own identity. Yeah, I can really, you know, so much wonderful insight. Thank you so much, Anne. I think it's, when you love, like, if I don't have a child, so I think that's something that, I will learn. I feel that I will learn to love someone unconditionally. But I feel like I've learned so much. I mean, it's an ongoing thing, but loving someone unconditionally, and know that the greatest love is a love that liberates. The love that liberates is the greatest love. If you love someone, especially your child, you are just like, let go. If you love something, you let go. It seems like it's the opposite things that you would do, but because you love so much, you trust and you liberate, right? And if you meant to come back, like especially for romance and relationship, if it's meant for you, it will come find you, right? If it's your child and they're going through, they need to go through that. That's when astrology really helps. You read your son's chart and know that it really, really helps you understand more about what they were going through, and then why they came here for. And that is out of your control. We are all choosing our parents, our birthplace and location, and to exactly work on what we failed last time. So this is part of the process, right? And somehow you are in it, in this, bubble of matrix, his matrix, and there's some parts that interact, because you also need to work through with this event, right? So learning to love unconditionally, the greatest love is the one that liberates. Well said. Yes, it's meant to come back. It will, and out of my control. Yes, yeah, definitely. So yeah, unconditional love. What it's like to love unconditionally is without any agenda, without any expectations. And in order to embody that, it starts with us, right? Do you love ourselves? Do you accept yourself? And if you become that, if you embody that, people around you will change. Sometimes we try When we feel out of control, when we out of alignment within ourselves, that's when we see that reflection in others. That's when we try to do something about it, right? But at the end of it, I think it's like we're all learning that it's to let go. They may be separated in a distance, but love is still there. So are they? Yeah, 100%. And I think that's a core of, you know, core belief of me, especially with my relationship with my family and my parents, because I've been away from Japan and my parents for such a long time. If I don't believe that we may be separate in distance, but love is there and connected, I wouldn't be able to survive for such a long time away from my parents. There's a lot of points that I felt lonely, and even though I'm making my own choice to live the life I want to live, but there's part of me that I have to carry that loneliness and sadness, like I don't belong, nobody loves me. But I understood that I created this life. I wouldn't feel this loneliness if I lived in Japan. Why did I put myself into this? But I know that this was part of my life purpose. I specifically made this choice to move to Canada by myself and kind of relieve that pattern from my past life that I exactly felt this way in a more intense version, life after lifetime. But because I relive the pattern, so I can do something about it in the second phase of my life. So I'm working through that. I think it's everything you go through from age 0 to age 30 is basically that reincarnation and that reliving the patterns of the past life, so we can do something about it after 30. So same thing with your child. They were going through what they need to go through, their intense feeling of anger, intense feeling of depression, right? They need to go through that so they can do something about it, right? I relate some of that, have the life purpose to heal all patterns, definitely working through that too. Yeah, thank you, Lee. So you have to let that go. Their life purpose is not your life purpose. Their life purpose is not your life purpose. Even though we're together, like the relationship and your partner, your husband, their life purpose is not your life purpose. Even maybe there's some, there's some part that collide and then we'll co-create, but their stuff is not your stuff, right? But continue to work through that our patterns that somehow being triggered and somehow being involved with this, right? You don't have to necessarily leave the relationship in order for you to not to get involved. Maybe that's a choice and go for it. But I'd like to believe that as we're working through that, it's kind of like we're constantly shifting, paradigm shift. So whatever I was relating on this particular frequency with this person, I no longer get triggered because I am in a bit different place, but we're still together, right? So it's about the frequency. How we respond to ourselves is the secret sauce of how to raise our frequency. Because raising our frequency is kind of like this expansion or contraction. If you contract it too much, it doesn't have a lot of room to think or expand. But as our fascia opens up and unwind, we are more flexible, fluffy in our thinking with our being, so that we have so many tools and so many aspects to ourselves, right? And we are solid and fluffy and fluid at the same time. So literally, when you think about this physical balloon, if there's a balloon, think of this as a balloon, and something hit you, and the stimuli activate, but because you're so fluffy that I posted this visual image of Majin Buu. If you're so fluffy, it goes like this, and bounce it right back. So, also, have you seen that mosquito tried to sting humans, but if that where the fascia is fluid and fluffy, they can't sting because there's no the mosquito can't poke use their needles through that because it's so fluffy. Can you imagine? Like it's easy to manipulate something is tough, right? It's like, well, you can actually go through this, but if something is so soft, it goes like this. You can't manipulate. So as your fascia is fluffy and fluid, and if your thinking is more fluffy and flexible, you're not easily be manipulated. How's that? I like that. So let's continue to work on ourselves, hydrate ourselves, making our fascia fluffy, and work on our perception. That's a fascia. And working on our perception and our mind, and continue to be more flexible, adaptive, and working through that so that whatever comes up, it's like it doesn't affect us anymore. It's just that it's like your big elephant, and there's flies around here, but you're not bothered by flies anymore. It doesn't affect you anymore, right? Because you're so fluffy. So let's work on this fluffiness. Okay, I think that concludes our live today. Thank you guys for joining. Sometimes I speak all the way for 1 hour and enjoy. Sometimes it's shorter. Sometimes I like to bring people. So if you are watching a live, you feel like you want to share. So I would love to bring you. So I want it to be casual and flowy. And sometimes I plan a little bit more. Sometimes less plan and showing up. But I really wanted to work through that pattern of my old story, old approach to the new approach. My old approach is my mind is racing in fear and think logic, this is true. And my heart is like the loving, more approach. So I wanted to really tap into that. So yeah, flow state, fluffy fascia. So much valuable info. Thank you. So grateful. Yeah. This I'm actually doing this every day, Mondays through Friday at 9 a.m. PST. So sometimes it's shorter, sometimes longer, but 9 a.m. PST London's time. And yeah, and I'm gonna be posting recording. I also post this recording on YouTube channel. If you guys can follow me, you can find all kinds of information there. Also, if you're interested in private sessions. But what I'm focusing on right now is really embody, because House Seers Joy send us all kinds of messages, and I know my theme. I know my theme to work through. One of it is to be okay to be seen, and be okay to be judged, be okay to be misunderstood. But my dream of being doing what I want to do in my life, it needs to be greater than the fear of those things, right? 3 a.m. in Australia. Oh, I see. Yeah, you can check the recording, but sometimes if you stay up late or wake up really early, you can join. Yes, thank you for being here. So yeah, going through that. Another thing I'm working through is speaking my truth. Speaking my truth. And what else? Yeah, so there's so many things working through this, and waking up early. So thank you guys for being here, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great rest of your day, morning, afternoon, evening. And last time I'll show you, let your heart shine bright like a star and diamond. And yeah, be kind to yourselves, like loving yourself. Like Leo season is all about loving yourself, love, love. What it's like to love yourself deeply, unconditionally, making decisions with wisdom and consciousness, leading with your heart with wisdom and consciousness. What that means is it's not just dealing with your heart with toxic patterns, right? So yeah, so open and happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, bye everybody. Have a great day.